All right. Welcome to another episode of TechDontSleep Podcast. We're actually starting right now.
Okay. All right. He faked me out the last time.
TechDontSleep Podcast, y'all. We got another good one here with a serial entrepreneur, Rob Wynkoop of WormBucket.com. And we've got an interesting conversation coming up for sure. I guarantee you're going to be intrigued and get some insights on really how to market your business. Use a platform that you just told me is the 8th most visited platform in the U.S.,
in
right?
the U.S.
Reddit.com. So we're going to talk about that and his business and how he's incorporating that, how he went viral on this platform and all that good stuff. So, hey, man, appreciate you joining us.
Thanks.
So you just started, you're the co-founder of WormBucket.com.
Yeah.
And how long ago did you start this business? And just tell me why you started. WormBucket.
Sure. So WormBucket.com is, so we have an indoor composter that we created. And so we're bringing worm composting from the outdoors into underneath your kitchen sink in a nice compact package. And I'm going to give you one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one here. So this is the WormBucket kit. I'm going to try not to hit your mics. This is a WormBucket kit.
Okay.
And it just sits on your counter and you feed it your kitchen scraps. And the worms live in here and they turn their garbage into this super powerful like fertilizer, organic fertilizer for your plants.
So they eat it.
They eat it and they reduce your landfill waste. So you put your cucumber ends and your tomato ends and stuff in here and they eat it. And then it's just black gold soil when you're done. And you can add it to your planters.
But wait a minute. If they eat it, how does it turn into soil?
They poop it out.
Oh, I got
So it's worm poop. You're harvesting worm poop.
Manure.
And it's actually valuable. I'm not kidding, Bill. People pay $2 a pound for this worm poop. So worm poop.
So this is there a scientific or terminology or a name for it?
Vermicomposting is the concept. So vermicomposting or worm composting.
Okay.
But you take red wiggler worms and you put them in a habitat and then you feed them a combination of cardboard scraps and vegetable waste, and they turn it into black gold.
So let me get this straight. This is the worm bucket, right? Hence WormBucket.com.
Yep.
And this can sit anywhere in your kitchen or wherever, right?
Yeah, underneath the sink or whatever. And it's actually a kit. I should open it here for you so you can see. And it comes with instruction guides and things like that on how to keep your worms happy and everything like that.
So the worms are down here.
Yeah, they live inside of here.
Oh, you just put them in there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's deep.
So and they live in there along with the bedding that comes provided in that kit, and they do that. So I've been working on this project for a couple of years now, and I have decided to build it entirely transparently on Reddit. Okay. So that's how the Reddit thing comes into this.
And this is Reddit.com.
Reddit.com, or you can have the Reddit app on your smartphone.
Yeah.
But Reddit is a very popular social media platform, often referred to as the front page of the internet. Mm-hmm. And so getting to the front page on Reddit is like, I mean, it's beyond trending. It's just millions of views. There's about 54 million daily users of Reddit. Yeah. So a tremendous audience.
So on Reddit, you can create an account.
Yep.
You know, but it's not like Facebook, I guess, where you got your feed, or is it?
It is a feed. It's a feed that is comprised of different things. So Reddit in itself, I guess you could consider it almost like a collection of forums. Okay. So there's what we call subreddits, where you can go into a subreddit, almost like going into a room, and people will post in there on topic about something. It's what I call semi-anonymous platform, as in people sometimes use their real names, some people don't. Okay. But it's not entirely anonymous in that people are just going to completely troll you and run away. And you know what I mean? Like there's some stickiness to it. And that's one of the things that's important when it talks about marketing on it, is that you've got to be authentic on the platform or you will be toast.
Because people can see your past posts and all that stuff.
And that's a big part of it, is looking at your post history, right? Okay. If somebody posts something, people will quickly click one page over and see what other stuff they posted.
Okay.
So if they see that all you do is go in every community and you just spam, hey, I'm spamming my WormBucket to everything, right? Yeah. Then they're going to react negatively. Right. And they actually have the power to downvote you on Reddit. Okay. So if they downvote you, you're not going to get as many views. You're not going to get posted up or whatever. And so there's like kind of a balance with this, what they call the karma system on Reddit. So people can upvote things or award things that they like and that they want to see more of. And they can also downvote things if it's not. I'm
assuming if they give it the thumbs up, it gets more exposure.
It does. Actually, it doesn't matter if it's up or down. Yeah. If it's getting engagement, it gets exposure. Okay. And that's one of the tricks that I wanted to talk about today too. Is that like even negativity, sometimes you can spin it in your way with Reddit.
So tell me this, because Reddit is also the platform where the forums or community got together to push the stocks.
Yeah,
with GameStop and AMC and all that. Was that the platform?
Yeah, that was definitely. So all the GameStop and really kind of what they call the apes taking over the stock market and kind of retail investors taking on. And all of that happened through Reddit. So I think you'll see through that that there's a lot of smart people that are on Reddit. That's one thing. The demographic
versus Facebook, where nobody's smart.
I did not say that, but you'll find people that are very passionate about causes. You'll find people that are very smart software developers and people with advanced degrees, and they're all freely engaging. And I think that's what makes the community really special for me. And I've had so much success in my businesses by sharing on Reddit. I've had business deals. This is not for this particular one, but it's one that I've now will use. But for one of my other e-commerce stores, I met a source of funding. And I was able to lock on a source of a line of credit for my business through Reddit. They were like a startup themselves. They were like, hey, we're lending to e-com companies. And I was like, look, I have nothing. Like, I'm a little tiny fry, small fry. And they were like, oh, it's okay. And they lent me the money. And I grew from like the first payment we did with them was like, maybe I borrowed like $4,000. By the end of it, I was borrowing like $70,000 at a time. And so if you're a business that has like zero line of credit or something like that, those little personal relationships, it's so weird that a global social media website that someone would be so open, but I've found that Redditors are really open people. They really want to help. And so that's what I do. And that's what I've done with this product is there's a subreddit called Entrepreneur Ride Along. Okay. And so I've been basically posting my trials and tribulations maybe like every month or so.
So is that the strategy? Like you want people to ride along with you to kind of be transparent?
And
see behind the curtain.
Right. And see more than just like, if you launch and it's just like, okay, here's a plastic bucket, right? Okay, wow, Rob, you've got a plastic bucket here that sits on my counter, right? No, this is so much more than a plastic bucket, right? This is me and Audrey and our dream and like this kit that we put together, and it's helping the environment. There's a story behind it, right? We were going through COVID and we turned to gardening for our sanity.
So let me ask you then, how do you do that? Because obviously on other platforms, you can post videos and reels and stories and all that stuff. So on Reddit,
you can do all that.
Are you doing the same thing?
Same thing. So you can post videos, you can post pictures. The thing that went viral for us and had 1 million views in 24 hours was a picture of my wife. My wife quit her corporate job. So we've been building all this for several months. We've been kind of just telling our story. And to be honest, Bill, the telling of the story might get 100 upvotes or to 15 comments, 20 comments, right? But I've been doing it over time. And then over time,
and that's pretty good to me. Like 100 likes and 15 comments.
No, it's okay. But what I'm saying is, you just build, like you plant these little seeds, right? And then we had an opportunity where our picture started getting traction, and then these people that had already heard about us over time were like, "Oh, I remember you." And then that engagement is what drove the comments, which drives the algorithm to push you to the top, right? So if you're like a completely unknown commodity and you just post a picture, well, yeah, it might be hard for you to trend. Sure. It might be hard for you to do that. But if you are invested in a community or multiple communities and people value you and they see that you're not promotional, and that's the other thing we got to talk about Reddit too, is that it's it doesn't do well for straight solicitation and straight. So our post went viral. The story was that went viral, my wife quitting her corporate job to go sell worm farms. Now that sent a lot of traffic to our site. People liked the idea of composting, and we sold 141 worm farms in the first 12 hours, which was crazy because I thought we were going to sell like 200 of these in the first year.
Wow.
And we sold 141 in the first day.
Did you end up on the first page?
Yeah, we briefly. Now, I screwed it up, and this is the thing to know. There's rules to understand about Reddit. And even someone who's been on the platform for 6 years, made a big mistake, which is number one rule, read the subreddit rules before posting.
Okay.
Each community is kind of its own, almost wild, wild west in a way. Like it's got its own moderation, own way that it works, right? So you can't just roll in there on day one and be like, I'm Bill, here's my offer, blah, 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 here's my link. No one will ever respond to that, right? You have to tell your story. You have to engage with people, right? Someone's asking a question. Hey, my website is having this problem. And then you say, oh, well, when I was building my e-commerce site, WormBucket, this is how I did it, right? And then somebody's like, oh, what's WormBucket? And then they click it, right? So you have to kind of, I don't want to say be more sly about it, but you got to you got to
add value.
You got to add value in everything that you do, because if you don't, that you will just get blasted and you'll get nowhere. And you do it a few more times and then you're just kind of like blackballed on it. So it's not an easy platform. But if you're willing to be genuine and you want to like share your story and you want to, if you're that type of person that likes to help others, man, the connections that people make on this worldwide platform are so crazy.
It sounds like the people on the what do you call them? Redditors?
Redditors.
Yeah. So the Redditors is just a different type of person, really. Like, it's for me, it's like, you got a certain type of person on Snapchat and then a certain type of person on Twitter. It's a different type of,
potentially.
Yeah, exactly. So, because based on what I hear you saying, if I did a ride along thing on Facebook, it makes sense, that people would want to follow that too, or on Instagram or wherever. But it sounds like what you're really saying is it's just a different community and you got these subreddits.
And it's a little more targeted. Yeah. It's more like Facebook groups, but it's very public. And the other thing is it's highly valued by Google. That's the other thing that people don't realize. So I saw this hack the other day on TikTok.
Yeah.
And people will type out the thing that they want to see, and then they append the word Reddit at the end of it.
Okay.
So it's like, I have a question about something, right? How do so I'll give you an example. Using Reddit, I came to a situation where our site got blacklisted by Google. Completely dead. It was called Google Manual Action. And it's basically like I was flagged for spam and like my domain was dead. Wow. Okay. So I went to Reddit and I was like, hey, I don't know. I've YouTubed, I've searched everything. What do I do?
Yeah.
And the whole thing, it comes out, try this. Well, when I did it, try this, right? Yeah. And it's new and relevant, right? So if I'm searching Google, right? And I like Google Manual Action, and the listing comes up and it's 2016. Yeah. The top YouTube video is 2016.
Yeah.
How does that help me today in 2022? The interface doesn't look anything alike, right? So people are starting to append Reddit to it.
Yeah.
And they can see, they may not find the answer there, but they'll find the link to the YouTube video that's the most recent.
The latest.
And you really find, you can kind of cut through a lot of the BS.
No, I love that.
Yeah,
because I use Google a lot to find stuff out. So if I'm trying to find how to do a certain thing, I should put Reddit at the end of it.
Yeah,
and in the latest Reddit thread or whatever
about that will pop up. And sometimes you'll see multiple from different years, and you can select which one that, the headline or whatever sounds the most relevant. But yeah,
is it a platform too where once you create an account, you befriend people, or no?
You can't. It does have followers and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that it's really much like that. Like, I think the
do people have a Reddit page, a profile, and all that? Okay.
You do have a profile, but it's not like Facebook. Medium, it's not like Facebook or Medium like that.
Okay.
Like you do have a profile. So if you're a marketer, that's one trick. If you're a marketer, you want to make sure that your profile is well filled out from a personal position, right? You can be a Redditor with a web page or a website, but you really shouldn't be a website with a Reddit account, if that makes a whole lot of sense, right?
So say it again.
You can be a Redditor,
yes,
a person, a user who owns a website and participates on the account.
Okay.
But to go in and be like, my username is WormBucket.
Okay, I got you.
And I'm posting all about my corporate.
Yeah, you should be an individual.
Yeah, it's seen more as like authentic. An individual, authentic point of view. It should be from the point of view of a real person, you know. And so, but I highly recommend it. And so how it works is all those subreddits, if you can get to the top of those subreddits, those are what compose the front page of Reddit.
Okay.
So the Reddit front page, where there's literally millions, you know, they open their app and the first thing they see is the picture of my wife and I. That is the front page. And that happened because we were on the Pics subreddit and we made it to the very top of Pics.
Okay.
And it shadows whatever is at the top of the main subreddit.
How'd you screw it up? So you didn't read the
prompt? So I didn't read the prompt, and there was a thing on there that said you cannot post more than one link. Promotional link
in your post.
And so we had 800 comments and people were going crazy. Where can I buy the WormBucket? And I was like, WormBucket.com or go here, WormBucket.com.
How else were you supposed to tell them?
I should have said,
or DOT.
Google it. Look in the other comments for my other. You got to kind of like do all these roundabout
Can you be
things.
sly and have said WormBucket.com? I mean,
you probably could have, but still, like, you know, it's better to just say, hey, Google the name, search the name, look through the thread. There's another thread. The other thing that you can do on Reddit is awards. So each month you can either buy virtual awards to give out, or you earn some over time or whatever. But anyway, I can give you a gold star or something like that. So there's kind of a trick, and I'll accredit this to my friend Wonmin Lee. He is great on Reddit, and I learned a lot of my tricks from his Medium posts on this topic. But he taught me that you can award somebody that, say they post your link, you can award them and it'll post it to the very top of your comments so that your link is the first thing that people see. So different things like that. There's some tricks that you as a marketer can use, like if I can get somebody else to say my domain name, you know, if I can get somebody else to post that link than myself, and then maybe I can get that some traction by giving it an award, and that sort of thing.
So you made it to the front page, but you were there just temporarily.
I was temporarily there because a mod saw that I posted more than one link, and they killed.
Who was a mod?
A moderator. A moderator.
Okay. I thought you said a mod.
No, they're called mods on Reddit. Mods, moderators.
Get me to the terminology.
Yeah. So they nuked my thread. That's what they would call it.
This is a moderator of that subreddit.
Of that Pics subreddit.
Okay.
And the rule 5 was you can only share one link, and I think we shared 3 or 4 or something like that. So there's no telling how much it would have even gone, because that people really, the story of my wife quitting her corporate job to go sell worm farms. I mean, it sounds absurd, but it's been the best thing. And we crushed it in the first month, and we're super excited.
That's crazy. So is it still selling? Are you still seeing some traction?
Totally. So we're selling probably 5 worm buckets a day. So, which is really cool, because before my wife quit her job, I told her, I said, I think, honey, if we can sell 5 worm buckets a day, I think you can stay not working. And right now we're selling like 5 a day. So it's looking like we're right on that cusp of like...
Of her going to get a job.
No! Come on! Don't do me like that!
You said
Don't do me like that, man! So hopefully y'all go out and buy some worm buckets and keep Audrey working as head of brand for WormBucket.
No doubt. So your strategy then, if I understand it correctly, was to do the ride along, kind of tell your story.
Yes.
And so are you still doing that on Reddit?
I am. And I even told a story. You can go right now. And so on Reddit, Vandy Marine is my username on there.
Okay.
And you can go on there and you can read it. And I talked about how we got the traction with the post, how many we sold, how we even had our own supply chain issue come out of it. And people really love not only the transparency and the honesty of it, like, hey, I'm having this thing, I'm having this trouble, and I talk about the iteration that came to get to this point of even having this. WormBucket wasn't even in the picture when it all started. Like, I was using a Rubbermaid container in my backyard.
Oh, wow. Did you design this?
I designed this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I designed this and got a patent pending and all that. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This was like it came about because my sister-in-law, I said, you should really try some of my worms. I like the soil. It really helps your plants. And she said, I can't do that because I rent and I don't have a yard. And that made me think, like, there's got to be a way to bring this indoors. And I looked online and nobody had really done it. So I designed one. And then for the last year, I've had worms living in my kitchen, and I proved that you can do it without any smell, or it's not gross or anything like that. And so I've it works. Like, I don't know what to say. It works. And people are resonating with it.
How much is this the only size you have?
Yeah, $60 is what they cost. Right now they're on special for $52 for another few days. But about $50 or $60 for WormBucket. And then the worms, you need about 250 worms. Runs about $20 or $30 to have.
And how often do you have to buy worms? Just once?
Yeah,
the worms are good.
They're good. As long as you feed them, even if you neglect to feed them, sometimes they'll be good. So they're worms. They're pretty low on the hierarchy of needs, I guess. So as long as they have moisture and a little bit of food, they'll thrive. And so but after a couple of months, you feed them, and you can harvest your worm castings and make your plants grow big and bountiful blooms. It's crazy. I never would have thought, if you would have said, Rob, you and I got together when I was doing cybersecurity as a business and that sort of thing. If you would have told cybersecurity Rob in 2017, Rob, 5 years from now, you'll be selling worm farms, I would have thought you're crazy. But it's turned out to really be fun and something I enjoy, and people really seem to resonate with the idea of lowering their landfill waste, and we're just really blessed.
So what is the game plan? Obviously to sell as many as you can, but how do you scale this? Well,
so definitely the ads. I mean, right now that's the thing. So we're seeing positive return on our ad spend, which is super cool. On Google and on Facebook ads, we're seeing positive return on ad spend. So really just kind of reinvesting those profits into the ad spend until we hit a ceiling. The other thing is Amazon. So we're in the process. We're going through the Amazon brand registry process to get our trademark and everything established there. And so we'll probably launch on Amazon within the next week. And so that's another big channel for us.
There's no other WormBucket out there.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no WormBucket. There's worm composters that range from about $100 to all the way up to about $450. But with us being literally half the price of all the other composters out there, I'm really excited to see how it's going to do on Amazon. So that's going to be really neat to see.
And then what about retail? Do you think you'll get into retail?
Yeah, we definitely. My wife is all about the retail plan. I'm working on that. I've got to figure out all of our financials are based on ads, e-commerce.
Okay, yeah.
And so when you start branching out into wholesale, you start to really affect that model, and you might start taking away from yourself or something like that. So yes, I really want this to be in Lowe's and Home Depot and all those places, but we've got to get a good base together, and so right now that's through growing the direct to consumer, and using social media, just utilizing that. And
you said you got a pending utility?
Yeah, so we got the pending patent right now.
Because you should be able to. I mean, you could probably license it once you get that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to go that route. I think we'll probably just got to build the brand, you know. Okay. So, you know, we went and spoke with some attorneys about our design, and although it is a novel design, they think the value is in the WormBucket brand and being the first to market with this type of bucket composter. And so, you know, we're really excited about what that comes. But
So talk to me about real quick getting the patent, like the road you had to take there. You went to like an IP attorney
so you know, to give you some info on that, I went to an IP attorney. I said, hey, I got a WormBucket here. He said, oh, that's cool, that's interesting. You know, but to be honest, you know, I kind of came out of that. I initially wanted to file the utility patent, and they pretty much told me, look, guy, it's a bucket.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to get a utility packet for a bucket, even though it's got a spigot and drains and does a few other things. It's going to be hard to get that. So that's the first and foremost that steer me toward the design patent. Okay, so that is where the advice of, hey, protect your trademark, protect your brand, focus on that, as opposed to trying to. Because the other thing is, Bill, I'm not rich, so I can't enforce a patent, right? If somebody comes and tries to, if I spend $30,000 to get this, and then I got to go litigate it, right? I don't even got the money to pay the attorney hard. You know what I mean? I'm just a dreamer out here bootstrapping it out of my garage. You know, let's be real. So the truth is, they said, hey, go the brand trademark route. And that's what we did with Amazon Brand Registry, which is where we paid about $1,200 for an IP attorney to do that. Now, I, in the past, have filed my own trademarks. It only costs about $300 to do it your own. But if you do it through Amazon, this is a tip for somebody that's thinking about doing Amazon. If you have Amazon, if you pay them, their licensed attorneys, they'll immediately give you brand protection as if you already got the trademark. If you go and file it yourself, you've got to wait through the whole backlog. So you've got your product out there on Amazon with no way to defend it. So that's why I decided to pay the $1,200 to have them file the trademark on my behalf.
But the trademark is for your brand.
It's for my brand, period, in general. But by paying $800 in service fees, I guess you could say, and having an attorney that was represented through Amazon, Amazon gave me the trademark in their eyes instantly. So, which is, I think, very valuable. So that's why I chose to do it.
But it's only if you're going to open an Amazon store.
Only if you're going on Amazon. The rest you can just do it on U.S. Patent and Trademark organization. On the website itself. So
tell us where we can follow your story, where we can ride along. Obviously on Reddit, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So real quick though. So when you're doing your ride along, I mean, you're just doing pictures and stories and posting videos and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's okay. So
posting a picture, telling a story. If I've made a video that did well, maybe I'll link to the video and say.
But are you doing this on any other platform? Are you sharing other videos like on Facebook?
Yeah, I do share other videos and things like that, but I don't go deep into the nuts and bolts of the business.
Are you trying to drive traffic back to your Reddit?
Not particularly, right? For me, it's more about driving followers to the site, getting people to understand our story and getting people kind of behind the movement, and also the shareable nature of Reddit, right? People share the story if they like it, if it makes them feel good, and they will share it with other people. So it's a very good place to get that additional exposure. But no, I mean, I'm not, other platforms like Google Ads, those are direct conversions, right? Amazon, that's a direct conversion. Someone already knows about composting and they're buying one, right? But if you're trying to just educate people or bring people behind like your story or whatever for branding purposes, I think Reddit can be a great. I know we're almost out of time, but there's a couple of areas. One area is called, you've heard of Ask Me Anything, AMA. That really, I think Reddit originated that term, right? And you see it copied on YouTube and stuff like that. The AMA is a huge subreddit on Reddit, and people will go on there and talk, and celebrities do AMAs, but this is one, and soon we will one day do a WormBucket AMA, and that will all kind of build on that brand story, right? A year ago, you guys saw us hit the front page when my wife quit her WormBucket, quit her job to sell worm farms. Well, today we just surpassed 500,000 in sales or whatever. That's the story I can't wait to go back and post. Ask me anything or whatever. So I really am excited about our future on Reddit as a platform, and then also just WormBucket.com. And we have so many properties out there. We're on TikTok. We got Worm.Bucket on TikTok. I'm out there I'm showing you how to turn your Amazon boxes into plant food. We're trying to get it done.
Marketing machine.
I'm trying.
On Reddit, you're at Vandy Marine, right?
Yeah, Vandy Marine on Reddit. Feel free to follow me. And
Did you go to Vandy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I went to Vanderbilt, and then I was a Marine also. So,
that makes sense. Yeah, man.
That's how I came.
Well, you heard it first, man. WormBucket.com. Make sure y'all visit the site. Check him out on Reddit.com. Vandy Marine.
Try Reddit
and follow his story. Man, you got some good tips. So most of our listeners and viewers are either entrepreneurs or just business professionals. And I think I don't hear people in my circles at least talking about Reddit a lot. So I think I'm definitely going to jump in and check it out and get engaged for sure. But appreciate you coming through, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sharing your story.
Hey, I want to see you. This one's for you. I'm ready to see you guys. Put your kitchen scraps in here.
I got you.
I got your worms. You call me. We'll get it set up. So thanks so much.
You got to tell me where to get the worms.
I got you. Okay. I got you.
All right, man. Appreciate you again, y'all. Rob Wynkoop. Hey, listen, if you are not following this channel, especially if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you do that. Tech Don't Sleep is the handle. So follow us on YouTube, of course, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And thanks to our sponsors, Comcast Business, Spectrum, VoIP Entirety, Air Call in the building. And we appreciate you guys for sponsoring the podcast and our events that we do every month and every quarter. In fact, we got one coming up tonight, man. So if you can make it, come through. I don't know if you delivering boxes or what, packing up boxes. But anyhow, we got a great event tonight, speaker series here in Nashville at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. So appreciate you guys for watching. Engage on Reddit. See y'all next time. Peace.
Can't stop to lie, won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie, won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie, won't stop to lie. Ain't no Chico, just be smooth.